that.
Yeah, and Victoria, understood on that point. The death of the family took place, and horrible that it happened. It took place before the official ceasefire went into effect, and now that it was, and now we're in a new world where every party agreed to a ceasefire, and then a missile was launched. So, how do people proceed forward?
Well, I think that we can proceed forward if the situation calms down, if Israel does take a retaliatory strike, and then we can get back to the ceasefire, because I think Israel has.
Did y'all just hear what was said?
Oh my God.
Let's go back and look at that exchange real quick.
Yeah, and Victoria, understood on that point. The death of the family took hiccup, and they're saying that the ceasefire is off. Do you think that, like Todd said, could this be a hiccup? Could things proceed more peacefully in the hours to come?
Well, Carly, I never want to refer to the death of a family of four as a hiccup. I mean, we have to be mindful of the seriousness of that.
Yeah, and Victoria, understood on that point. The death of the family took place, and horrible that it happened. It took place before the official ceasefire went into effect, and now that it was, and now we're in a new world where every party agreed to a ceasefire, and then a missile was launched. So, how do people proceed forward?
Well, I think that we can proceed forward if the situation calms down, if Israel does take a retaliatory strike, and then we can get back to the ceasefire, because I think Israel has.
Did y'all just hear what was said? Did y'all just hear what was said? So, yeah, and I'm seeing, hold on, so Maya wrote, the reporter basically called bullshit, professional tightroping. Oak said she doesn't want to get canceled. So she pushed back, and she basically said, like, well, this was during the ceasefire. I mean, this was before the ceasefire. But listen to when they say, when this lady responds to whether or not we can get back to a ceasefire, listen to what she recommends. Listen to what she recommends. Hold on.
Forward if
a missile was launched. So it took place before the official ceasefire went into effect, and now that it was, and now we're in a new world where every party agreed to a ceasefire, and then a missile was launched. So, how do people proceed forward?
Well, I think that we can proceed forward if the situation calms down, if Israel does take a retaliatory strike, and then we can get back to the ceasefire, because I think Israel.
If Israel takes a retaliatory strike, then we can get back to the ceasefire. Yo. In a lot of ways, maybe this is one of the reasons why we shouldn't get involved so much in certain foreign affairs. Didn't George Washington say that? I think George Washington said that. I think in a lot of ways we're seeing why, because, and the reason why I'm saying that is because as I watch this, as I listen to what she's saying and how biased it comes across. Now, I don't know the facts, but going on base what she was just asked and how she responded, it came across to me, y'all tell me if I heard it wrong, but it came across to me that Iran did a strike and an Israeli was killed, but it was within the timeline of before the ceasefire. Now her response is, we need our get back. We need a retaliatory strike, or Israel needs a retaliatory strike. I guess it's the same thing, right? Israel needs a retaliatory strike. Then we can get back to the ceasefire. So they want to get their lick. They want to get the last lick. That's what it sounds like to me. The reason why I was saying that perhaps we shouldn't get involved in foreign affairs, because when I look at this, maybe y'all feel the same way or certain people feel similarly. This is a racial divide. Stuff like this creates racial divides. And y'all know I've been talking about them trying to brew this race war in America. Stuff like this creates a racial divide. Now, a lot of people may be sitting here saying, what are you talking about? Like, how does Israel and Iran create a racial divide? And a lot of other people, y'all are knowing exactly what I'm saying. And it goes along with what I said before, what Fox's intentions are. Fox's intentions are to get you to only value the lives of Israel in that region, in my opinion. That's what Fox has been dominant in pushing. Now, this lady, shout out to her, got to give credit. She had a very balanced approach to it, and she had pushback. So maybe I shouldn't say Fox, but overall, that's what I've been seeing from Fox, whether it's Mark Levin, across the board with Fox's coverage. That's what I've been seeing.
First and foremost, want to give a huge shout out to everybody that continues to tap in with us, like and subscribe and join our community. If you haven't already, please make sure that you do. We look forward to engaging in some dope combo with you that can help us all elevate. So like, subscribe, and maybe even share the video if you're feeling real generous. On that note, we'll let you get back to the video. See you soon. Ew.
Shout out to this lady for pushing back. Now, getting back to the racial divide that I was talking about. When we see you can call it genocide. I don't know what people are, whatever I know it's politically correct, or you can't say genocide. When you see the genocide and destruction of certain groups of people, and America seems to take the sides of only one certain group, which out of the entire region is the only group of white people, if we're just being real. Perhaps it sets a bad precedent, or it leaves a bad taste in people's mouth when we're just seeing this stuff, because none of us know what's really going on. But when we see from afar, we're just looking at it like, yeah, why we like, I know y'all said Israel's our greatest ally, but why? I'm just wondering. And then we're seeing what's going on, and it seems like, yeah, why are they doing this? Like, they're just trying to get us, and like, it's not really adding up. They're saying it's about, so they destroyed an entire country because 200 hostages. Like, I'm just trying to figure this out. And then it adds on to, see, this is what allows people to say, well, they let in 55 South African white people, but they're deporting some of the millions of tens of millions of people that came here illegally. This is what allows, see, this is what allows people to even have that argument. Stuff like this. Let's keep going.
Has achieved largely their war aims. That's what they said last night. And so I think if the president gets involved, if Iran understands the seriousness of the situation, and that both Israel and the United States are prepared to go back in if they don't start behaving more rationally.
Yeah, I cannot imagine the president is happy with these latest developments out of Israel. How should President Trump respond?
Well, I think President Trump will respond decisively. I mean, I think he's going to make very clear to the Iranians these are the terms. They are in an extremely weak position. Both Israel and the United States can act, as I said, with impunity against them. And
so then why y'all need America? Stop trying to put us in everything that Israel does. Listen to her response. Listen to what she's saying.
Out of Israel, how should President Trump respond?
Well, I think President Trump will respond decisively. I mean, I think he's going to make very clear to the Iranians these are the terms. They are in an extremely weak position.
You said he's going to make it very clear to Iran? Well, from the video that we just saw with Trump getting interviewed, from the Truth Social messages that he put out, seems like the energy that you want him to have to Iran, it seems like he actually had that more to Israel. We'll call it, remember the conversation yesterday? I got to stop picking on my boy. All right, well, let's just say he's leaning more that way, right? Seems like the energy that she wants him to have to Iran, he's actually having to Israel.
both Israel and the United States can act, as I said, with impunity against them. And so it is beholden on Iran now to start becoming a more responsible partner here. They have been given every opportunity, both before this war started, to engage in diplomacy, and now the president yesterday offering them the opportunity to come to the table and come to terms. Now, his patience, as we've discovered, is not infinite. So this better shut down now. And
look at the bottom of the screen, what it says. Trump warned Iran not to violate ceasefire. Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? Like now, like, is it making sense? What I said earlier, that Fox is just trying to get us to not value the lives of anybody in that region outside of Israel, to justify us killing and dropping bombs like the many great presidents before Donald Trump? Are we seeing?
They'd better come to the table in the mood to make concessions so that we can get to the end of this war.
Yeah, and President Trump is going to be leaving for the NATO summit in just a few hours. What will the conversation during the NATO summit be surrounding all of this?
Well, I think it's going to be about the need for NATO to take a lot of responsibility for what's happening in Europe. This is a big demonstration of all of the obligations the United States has around the world, not just in Ukraine, also in the Middle East, also in the Pacific. So I think the president is going to go back to one of his signature issues, which is making the rest of NATO pay its fair share for the defense of the alliance. And we have the top 10 economies.
All right. So SB wrote, defense, aviation, aerospace is big business for the U.S. That's not going to stop. That's not going to stop. Unc wrote, I just don't want us to be bogged down in another quagmire. I got to look up that word. I've heard it before in the Middle East. This is what I do when I see words that let me look it up. Maybe y'all may. Quagmire definition. Quagmire, a soft, boggy area of land that gives way underfoot. All right, so like some quicksand or something like that. An awkward, complex, or hazardous situation word. All right. Do you think when she says Pacific, she's talking about Taiwan? Bro, I missed that completely. That's out of my league, though. I'm going to be honest. I don't know nothing about that. That's out of my league. I'm not too familiar in those areas. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. I don't know. What are y'all thinking? Let me check. Maybe I should check real quick before we get out of here, because I got to run. I know y'all got to run. Maybe we should check. Maybe we should check some of this stuff. Hold on. Let me see if Trump has tweeted anything since. Nah, so far nothing. So I don't know. Like we said yesterday, we're praying for peace, man. We're praying for peace. So I'm leaving y'all with that, man. We going every day, so these may not be as long, but just wanted to touch base with y'all before we get into our days. So on that note, I shall see y'all. Well, before we got to do our 45 seconds. So let's do our 45 seconds. Y'all know we get our breath work, manifesting, meditating, all of that. SB, I saw you just write something, so I'll respond before we get into our 45 seconds. But our 45 seconds where we take the chance to exhale all the negative energy and inhale all the positive. Let me see what SB wrote. NATO paying their fair share on defense means a lot more money for U.S. defense industry. Very America first. SB, I'm glad you pointed it out, because that's another thing that Trump's been pushing. NATO paying their fair share. Now, it'll be a lot more money for the U.S. defense industry. Hopefully, it's not just used for more aggression in other in other places. But I think that is America first, just from a simplistic standpoint, as far as other countries got to pay their share. We shouldn't be paying everybody. We got to always pick up the check when we go out to eat. You feel me? That's the type of energy it's on. I could have come help you move. All right, so change of plans. We actually hired some movers, man. We actually hired some movers. So, yeah. Spain says it doesn't align with their principles. All right, so let's get into. We'll definitely touch on all those. And I'm not really too sure about the Spain and with whose principles you're referring to. But let me know that. But in the 45 seconds, we shall take now. All right, manifest, do whatever it is that you need. Close your eyes if you're in a safe place. Go. All right, one last exhale, one last inhale. All right, praying for peace for everybody. Y'all know we do elevate on purpose, both from an intentional standpoint, raising our standards to become the best leaders we can become and to accomplish these amazing goals that we set forth for ourselves. Y'all know we are on purposeful abundance. That's the goal. Let's make sure that we're looking at our lives and making sure that we're headed in the direction that we want and that we're headed towards making the impact, whether it's a small to the world impact, whether it's in our families, our villages, whatever it may be. Let's just make sure that we're making that impact and leaving that personal legend that we talk about from time to time and being very intentional with it. All right. So appreciate y'all. Strength and honor, onward and upward. Y'all know what it is. When I say get to that bag, for those that don't, all the things that are aligning with you achieving that personal legend and that purpose that we talk about. So onward and upward, strength and honor. Already said that. Queen sent the fire emojis. I guess we good. Let me make sure I'm catching up with these. Bez said, pray to the gods for peace. That was fire, nephew. Short, and super sweet like old man sex. Always promoting love. Always promoting peace. One love to all, and please be safe. Please send the fire emojis. Oh, yeah. Let me tell y'all what's in my bag. Peace, love, happiness. See, I tell y'all all the time what's in my bag. Peace, love, happiness, health, wealth, and with everything, integrity. All right. Appreciate y'all. See y'all soon. Ew.